I want to welcome you all to the Veloma podcast today. The topic of the day is surviving. I really wanted to start out in Veloma and think back to what was most important to me, what was most important in the beginning. 6 years ago, I lost my son. When I try to go back to those moments, it literally takes my breath away. I created Veloma to have a community where we could all be together. Because in the beginning, I didn't have anyone. Going back 6 years ago, just to survive takes every ounce of energy that you have. I've been there. I've been where you're at. It's why I created this. I Googled. I searched. I felt like such an alien, just trying to stay alive every day, trying to survive. My son's name is TJ Hocking. And I'm fortunate enough, and I truly say that, to have another son, a younger son, Will Hocking. Every second of every day since the both of them were born, my life has revolved around them. Oof. You're parents of children. You understand. You understand what that feeling is like. After your child passes and you're in that survival mode, the pain that you feel every moment. People used to say, is it every minute, Renee? It's not. Is it every second, Renee? No. It's more than that. It's every breath that you take. You're in that survival mode. TJ went through so many different phases. My son was in the hospital for 8 months, and I was lucky enough to be by his side the whole entire time. There were choices to be made, and I was power of attorney for TJ. The ultimate choice ended up being mine. The guilt that carries on with me day to day, moment to moment, breath to breath, is excruciating. So that survival mode that I'm talking about today, I go through it every moment of every day. I remember thinking back after the funeral. I was trying to explain it to a friend of mine the other day, to try to explain to another person that has just lost their child what these moments are like. Trying to nicely explain that you're going to survive, but it's the hardest thing that you'll ever go through. I remember sitting so many moments just like this, with my hands and my head, shaking my head, thinking this can't be happening, it can't be happening, it can't be happening. This can't be happening to me. You have nightmares about it. You see it on Dateline, you see it on movies, you see it in different instances, but this can't be my life now. He can't really be gone. I want you to know that 6 years later, it feels the same. I also want you to know that you will get through it. You will survive. In the beginning, I can tell you to pay attention to your body. Pay attention to what your body is telling you. Do you need to sleep? I slept a lot. I remember saying to my youngest son, I promise you, you're going to get through this. I promise you, I'm going to get through this. You just got to give me some time. Being in the hospital with him for 8 months and constantly being on, constantly watching out for him, constantly taking care of him, I didn't get a chance to break down. I didn't get that chance to sit and cry because I was next to him the whole entire time. And I didn't want him to see that. So I knew after fight and flight and the way you feel, I knew I was going to crash. And I knew I was going to crash hard. I knew because of will that I would make it through. There's no choices when you have other children. I remember days going by and it just feeling like minutes, seconds. That was it. I would wake up and it would be the same nightmare. If you need to sleep, sleep. Reach out to another person that's been through it. When you're trying to make sense of the nightmare, you'll get so much advice. Everybody has advice. Everybody has something to say. Everybody has an opinion. Find someone else that has lost their child. We're a community of people that though we have all lost our children, we also are on our own journey. What does that mean, you ask? I never realized. I feel like I always just clumped everybody together of, oh, there are others that have lost their children. When it happens to you, you understand. You understand just how different we are, but yet we're all one. The best advice I was given was to seek out a therapist. There's so many options these days. If you're not comfortable with somebody in person, find someone online. Also, I suggest that you find somebody that lost a child. Find a therapist that lost a child. Here in Viloma, we give different tips along the way. Different mood boosters. If I'm having a really terrible day, even 6 years later, and it happens. What can I do for this day to survive? What does that look like for me? Does it look like getting out of the house for a couple of minutes? Maybe an hour. Can I push it today and do an hour? Or can I push it today and I just can only make it 5 minutes? Along this journey, I've really, really listened and learned how to hear what my body's saying to me. My survival mode has changed along this 6 years. In the beginning times with my therapist, I remember just being completely honest, which is so key for your therapist, of letting that individual know what you're doing and be honest about it. At that point, I was drinking twice a week. She was wonderful about giving me advice about that. Are you hurting anybody, Renee? She would ask me. No, Dr. Mary. Are you doing it responsibly, Renee? And I'd giggle and laugh. Yeah, I'm doing it responsibly. That was my survival mode at that time. That time I was drinking and smoking pot and smoking cigarettes and anything I could get my hands on to just find something that calmed me, calmed my mind, calmed my body. Praying to my son every day. Find that source, whether it be God, universe, whatever it is that you take in every day. Planet Earth, nature, reading, the gym, a friend. Whatever it is you feel in your heart of hearts can help keep you alive every day. Because there's times it's brutal. It's the most excruciating pain you'll ever feel in your life. Other tips I've found to survive can be the smallest tips. You'll notice you'll go through where you won't eat, you can't sleep, your body is not handling things well. So even if it's just getting out of bed, and taking a couple of steps. I'm a Pisces, so I'm a water child. It helped me to take my showers and just sit in there and scream, sit in there and cry. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to cry your eyes out. It's okay to talk to other people about it. Keeping in all of that frustration is something we shouldn't do. There were times I also grew up in nature, so I'd go out in the middle of nowhere and just scream at the top of my lungs, cry, kick, freak out, because it's not fair. Go to someone that's honest. A lot of people weren't honest with me in the beginning. I think it prolonged it for me and made it harder. Also because I numbed myself. I'm completely sober now and it's different. And it literally was starting over again. And that's okay. I did what I had to do in the beginning, and 6 years later, I know better and I do better for myself because that's what I choose to do in this life. I don't judge anybody else that is on this journey. We're all the same, see? We're just trying to survive. Now my journey's different. I think in my mind daily, 6 years later, of what my son would want me to do in his legacy. I think of Will, my living son, and I think, what can I do in this life right now to make his life better and to make his life easier? Because that's the kicker too, you know. Going through this journey, TJ just didn't make things difficult for me. He did for his dad and his grandparents and his brother. And we've all had choices along the way, how to survive. And 6 years later, we still have choices. Paloma, it was my choice to help others in both of my son's name, not just TJ's name, but in Will's name too. For the kids that I live, eat, and breathe for, and still do each and every day of my life. You're going to survive. This community at Paloma is something very special. And we're all here to help each other get through it. I'm going to be podcasting on a regular basis, honestly podcasting and telling you the truth. The ups, the downs, the good, the bad, and the really ugly at times too. But that's what I didn't have. I didn't have anyone to guide me through. I didn't have anyone that was honest with me about how hard it was going to be, but to also cheer me along and let me know that I was going to be okay. Surviving. You're going to do it. You're going to get through. And just remember, you're not alone in this. We're here for you at Veloma. Thanks for watching. Till next time.